Hello everyone. Welcome. I'm gonna talk about something a little bit real quick before I end the stream and start one up. I know some people are not gonna watch the stream, I know for a fact. Because it's in live streams, so it's not actual video. So I'm gonna talk about what I've learned in Arc Raiders. There's actually 7 things I want to talk about. And they're very interesting topics. I'm going to talk about gear fear. I'm going to talk about free loadouts. I'm going to talk about the PvP. Okay. I'm going to talk about the keys, the security keys. I'm going to talk about blueprints. I'm going to talk about rarity of loot. Then I'm going to end it off with oh God, I just had it on my mind before I started it. Matchmaking. Okay. First, let's talk about the matchmaking. I feel like overall matchmaking needs to be changed to where if I'm going in with this loot, okay, I have literally no storage space, so I have nothing to lose. Unlike other people, and I will talk about this, I'm going into matches, I'm expected to be in a 30-minute match, okay? I don't want to be joining 12, 13, 10 minutes, even 5 minutes after a match has started. Because then, I'm going in with my loot, hoping to find loot for myself, only to find out that the area I spawned in is picked fucking clean. Okay, picked clean, okay? It's not fair to me that I'm going in, putting my time and effort, risking my gear, my loot, that I farmed, my gear that I grinded for, crafted, used a ton of resources to get. Okay? Only to get absolutely nothing I need. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people are talking about this. I feel like if you're using a free loadout, you should be able to join mid-game. But if I'm going in as my own loadout, I should not be joining mid-game. Second thing I'm going to talk about that I've learned in Arc Raiders at level 69. Okay. I don't have gear fear anymore. At first, I did. I could go in with the equalizer and all that, the Jupiters, but I have a video I plan on using these, or a stream on using these. I could go in with the Tempests. I found the Tempest blueprint. I can go in with Bobcats. I can go with the Veneta. I can bring these Volcaranas. I can bring a lot of shit with me. I just choose not to, and I'll talk about it for a reason about quality of loot here in a sec. Loot rarity. Okay? So, I don't have gear fear. When you get up to where, I think, once level 30, 40, you lose all motivation of losing gear. And I think it's because at that point, you can just craft the gear. You'll have max inventory and everything. On top of that, let's go. So that was my second. Gear fear. So, free loadouts. Okay. I do gotta agree with some people are saying free loadouts are an issue, but I don't see it as an issue. Okay. In my opinion, this might just be a hard take. Okay. This might just be a hard take. I feel like the free loadouts should only be viable infinite amount of times up to level 20. Okay? Up to level 20. Okay? Infinite amount of times. Okay? Once you're level 21 and higher, okay, you have a 15-minute timer before you can get another loadout. And let's just say it caps at 3 loadouts. So if you die within 15 minutes, you could use another loadout, such and such. I feel like 15 minutes is long enough for you to go into a match, do an entire match of 30 minutes, and get out and then have 2 free loadouts ready. Because people are going in with free loadouts, hard targeting people that are doing quests or other stuff. Okay? The PvP, that's just my thing. A lot of people are just absolutely going in with free loadouts and just hard targeting people with no consequences whatsoever. And I agree. They need to have some type of drawback. And what I've learned is when people are fighting the matriarch, people will be such a rat. And I'm going to say this because happened this on my last live stream on this game. People are such rats when you help them fight the matriarch. They then will turn on you as soon as they realize what your weapon is. Okay. I feel like if the matriarch event is active and you're in that match, you should not be able to PvP. Okay. There is a reason why there is a big, giant arc enemy that takes more than 90% of the lobby to kill. Okay? It is not cool to be coming in, and I'm going to talk about this, if I go in to fight the matriarch, okay, as a solo player, I'm not going to carry 20 Wolfpack grenades on me, only to get shot in the freaking back and killed, and then waste 20 Wolfpack grenades that I decided to bring in and die. And then have the person that kills me get 20 packs of Wolfpacks, kill the matriarch, and get the blueprint because of my hard effort on bringing the loot to fight. I feel like if you disable PvP, it should only be that event. I know a lot of people hate the sound of that, but it is so frustrating to come in with a hole cracker or something really rare to come in by, only just to get griefed by someone you're deciding to help. Okay? Now, not everyone does this. And I feel like this still is a concept. Actually, in fact, I'm going to talk about this. When I was doing the harvesting, and I completed the harvesting all by myself, I had 2 players try to kill me. I, of course, killed both players, and walked out with not only 1 blueprint, but 3 blueprints of the Equalizer or Jupiter. A mix of one of the 3. Okay? I believe I had 2 Jupiters and an Equalizer. Okay? And I walked out with all 3 because I was not going to let someone kill me and get 3 blueprints. So I ended up killing them, but both of them, and claiming all 3 blueprints for myself. I was nice enough to give a random person that did not shoot me, could have shot me, that it was on the way to the extract. He didn't shoot me, and I gave him one of the blueprints. Okay? Now, that is what I call really, really petty and scummy, and such a rat move for someone's hard work and effort. Okay? I feel like that needs to just be disabled, and I know a lot of people are going to hate it, but I feel like it's a problem. Okay? And I'm not going to lie, it should be only disabled when you play solo. If you're in duos and trios, the PvP is alright to be active, because then you have a team that can work with you. Alright? Simple as that. That is matchmaking, gear fear, which this all ties into one, but free loadouts and PvP. Talk about the key, the key cards. I'm really going to talk about this. They have nerfed the keys to the point where they're not viable for loot. Okay? I'm sorry, you can go in and loot, but you're not really getting much out of it with the risk you're going. They need to buff these keys. Okay? Now, patrol car key, don't need a buff. Okay? It just the keys that require to open a breach door. A locked breach door. Okay? I feel like, depending on the rarity of the key, should be based off the rarity of the loot. Okay? How do I explain this? Okay? If I go in to Spaceport Warehouse key, and I use this key, I should be guaranteed no higher than blue rarity items. If I'm really lucky, a purple item. Most of the stuff should be green rarity due to the fact that it's a uncommon keycard. Okay. I also think you should be guaranteed blueprints from locked doors. And it should be based on a percentage of the keycard. For example, for a green keycard, it should have a 90%, a 75% chance. A 75% chance to give you a green blueprint. Okay? And a 20% a blue blueprint, and a 5% for a purple blueprint. If it's blue rarity, okay, you should have 90% rarity, a 90% chance of getting a blue blueprint, and a 10% for a purple blueprint. And if you open a purple rarity keycard locked door, you should be guaranteed a guaranteed purple blueprint. If not a purple blueprint, I say 50%. A purple blueprint or a legendary item. Meaning that the grapple, the kinetic converter, the anvil splitter, you have a 50%. That way, there's more of a reason to go and get them. Okay? That being said, I feel like blueprints should not be found in lockers, should not be found in drawers. Okay? The reason why they shouldn't be in those type of stuff is because then it's more important to fight for the key runes. Now, this would encourage people to camp these runes, but it brings the more PvP side out. And I feel like that needs to be a thing. Talking about quality of loot, that also plays a factor. So I gotta recap everything, because forgive me, I literally have too much on my mind. I'm thinking. I talked about matchmaking, gear fear, free loadouts, PvP, key cards. I did talk about blueprints. Quality of loot. Now, I feel like there are some blueprints out there that are not worth to be the rarity they're currently at. Okay? And I'm going to talk about this. So let's talk about it. I've collected 27 blueprints out of the 74 blueprints. And a lot of these blueprints I've seen multiple times. Okay? So let's get into it. It's just by chance. There is at least 3 blueprints that I'm going to mention in this that should not be its rarity. Okay? Now, I know everyone's talking about the Venator blueprint being the best PvP weapon. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't enjoy this gun as much as other guns. It is fun to use, but I don't think it should be blue rarity, in my opinion. Because there is, and I will explain it here in a little bit why, because another blueprint comes into mind. I feel like this blueprint should be green. I don't think this should be a blue rarity blueprint. And I'll talk about that in a second. Why? The Venina. I feel like this blueprint should not be epic. This blueprint should at least be no higher than blue. This gun has been nerfed to the point that it's not even being worth crafting, yet alone learning because of how bad it is. I crafted one, shot one, and it took almost 20 rounds, 40 rounds just to kill a wasp or a hornet, whatever one. And I feel like that is not okay for a weapon with high ammo consumption, with also high strong armor. Excuse me, high armor damage. It should not be that. I feel like you should make this either blue, or you need to buff it. And in my way, despite it doing all this, remove the heavy ammo requirement. Keep the heavy gun part. Make this a unique weapon that requires medium ammo, and tone down the armor piercing down to medium. Good. Okay. I feel like then you have a purple weapon capable of dealing with arc. Okay. And up its damage a tiny bit. This way it's still viable in PvP. Now, I know a lot of people might be different, but what would you do to make this gun better again? Because it was nerfed, I guess, before I even got the game. Okay. Now, I'm going to talk about why I feel like the Venator should be green. I think the reason why Venator should be green, because there is a gun that is better than this, and it's in the same weapon type, but only difference is it requires heavy ammo. And that being the Anvil. I feel like the Anvil, for being a green rarity weapon, should not be a green rarity weapon. This thing is S tier in PvP. It is A tier in PvE. This weapon and the Venator should swap places. In my opinion. If I was given an option to make the Anvil or the Venator, I would make the Anvil immediately, because I can craft it with much cheaper parts than this. Plus, I need simple gun parts. Okay? Simple gun parts are not hard to come by. In my opinion, simple gun parts are not hard to come by. All you do is get a gun. You can just load in with a free loadout, leave, and dismantle that weapon and get a free gun part. I'm pretty sure. Or you could just go to security breaches, lockers, breach them, or just go to lockers and get whatever you want. You'll most likely find a weapon in there. Now there's 74 blueprints, and there's one specific blueprint I'm looking for. If you've noticed, during this week, I found a Wolfpack grenade blueprint. So I'm not really worried about losing 20 Wolfpack grenades, like I said earlier. But a lot of people are dying for this because of how strong it is. And in my opinion, due to the fact that how strong this blueprint is, it should be legendary, not an epic. Okay? But it's okay in its spot right now. But those are the 7 things if it's 6 or 7, I'm at the point I'm like exhausted. That I've learned that not every gun has to be meta. Okay? There are 2 fucking guns in this game that you get as early as level 1, level 2, level 3, and they're super cheap to make, and they're the most meta PvP weapons, and that I'm gonna go ahead and show you. And that being the Stitcher, and the Pharaoh. As much as people don't realize, the Stitcher is such a good weapon for cleaning up kills, pushing fights, and you got the Pharaoh that can just absolutely kill someone if they're not careful. To this day, I still use the Pharaoh sometimes because of how strong it is. The only thing I would recommend people to play is do not feel gear fear. Because I promise you this. I go into games. I go into games. Just absolutely nothing. I will remove my guns, my shields, and everything. And I'll go in with nothing. And I'll walk out with a ton of loot. And I didn't even have to shoot once. Because if I do die, I die. That person that killed me in solos, they're wasting some ammo, exposing where they're located at. They have to come finish me. They have to kill me. They have to heal, potentially even heal if I decide to fight back. And if they do loot my body, and they then get shot by another player, there's nothing on my body, so that person can't loot anything. So he can't get healed. He doesn't get ammo. He's wasting his ammo. He's wasting his heals just to die to another player. So there are times where I go in with nothing on me, so I'm not worried. So in the final conclusion, for players that are getting into this game and still low level, okay, here's a tip for you. If you manage to find a purple item, use it. I went all game from level 1 to 69 without firing a single purple item besides Hulk Cracker, Tempest, and Benita until level 67. I didn't fire a Tempest until level 67. I fired a Bobcat because I found it from one of the crates in a match, and I had someone push me. So I used it. Okay? I used the Benetta to see how actually good it is against Arc, and it was terrible. Do not be fearful that you're going to lose these items, because there's 99% chance that you will find these items in abundance before long. It doesn't take long to find items, and it doesn't take long to find blueprints on this game. So just go in with the mindset that I don't care about my loot. So if I die, it is what it is. Because in the end, you're going to come back with better gear. You're going to die. You're going to lose that better gear. Oh well. You're going to craft new armor. You're going to craft new weapons. You're going to craft all this stuff. Okay? And once you do find those blueprints, what you guys do is just immediately put it in your safe pocket. That way, you have the blueprint. You die. You take it back to your base. You learn it. And guess what? Now you can craft whatever you want. My goal before the extraction, the expedition, I'm not doing it, this one, but my goal is to find an anvil blueprint. And maybe another Wolfpack grenade blueprint. So I can give it to my friends, expedition, get the blueprints from them, learn them, and have the anvil and the Wolfpack grenades on level 1. That way I can just easily just search for loot and not have to worry about anything. And to be honest, I really don't know if there's going to be any single weapon in this game that I will use over the anvil. I just enjoy the anvil a lot. And I think that's... Once you find that weapon you enjoy, a lot of the times you're going to find weapons that isn't purple rarity that you can craft. And you're going to get to the point where it's like, do I really need these? Because I promise you this, I think the devs did a really good job making the lower tier weapons better than the higher tier weapons. Because the game is still new, or just recently still came out, like a month. It's still not a month, 2 months. It came, and technically it's about a month. A month and a few days. That they don't have to balance anything, because a lot of the weapons are pretty balanced as it goes. But like I said, I know I'm talking about a lot of gear here, but a lot of people need to realize that you shouldn't need to be worried. I have all this loot, and I can't even use it. I have all this loot, and I know I can sell a lot of this stuff. But why would I? If I could just go into a game, PvP, and I die and shrug it off because I don't have to worry about anything else. But that being said, if you feel like there are better tips you could mention over mine, do leave it in the comments so people can see, and then maybe they can learn a few things from your tips and all that. But my final thing is, do not be afraid to use your higher tier loot, because in the end, you're gonna lose it anyways. If you have it, if you don't use it, why have it? You know what I mean? The reason why I haven't used these guys is because I do plan on using these in a video. So I have future plans for these. That being said, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and appreciate your work. Appreciate your dedication. Appreciate your confidence. I'll catch you guys later.